When my wife's best friend called at 2 a.m., I almost became victim number 4. When Vicky Hayes called me at 2:47 a.m. on a Tuesday night, I thought someone had died. I was wrong. Something worse was happening. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up and tell you how I almost lost everything to 2 women running the most sophisticated marriage fraud scheme I've ever heard of. How a late night phone call that seemed like a warning was actually a trap. And how I went from nearly being destroyed to putting 2 serial criminals behind bars. This is going to take a while. Settle in. My name is Jim Mitchell. I'm 38, work as a finance analyst for a mid-sized tech company in Denver, and up until 6 months ago, I thought I had a pretty good life. Nice house in the suburbs, decent marriage, no kids, but we'd always said maybe someday. I'd been married to Rachel for 8 years. We met at a friend's barbecue back in 2015. She was funny, ambitious, beautiful, marketing manager at a pharmaceutical company, made good money. We clicked immediately. Looking back now, I realize I never stood a chance. The call. My phone lit up the bedroom at 2:47 a.m. Rachel stirred next to me, but didn't wake up. She'd always been a heavy sleeper. The caller ID said Vicky. Rachel's best friend since college. They'd been inseparable for years. Girls' nights every other week, constant texting. Vicky was practically family. I answered, voice rough with sleep. Hello? Crying. Immediate, drunk crying. Jim! Vicky's voice was slurred, panicked. Jim, I'm so sorry. I can't keep this from you anymore. My heart kicked into high gear. What's wrong? Are you okay? Is Rachel... Rachel's fine. She's... God, Jim, I'm so sorry. More crying. Ice clinked in a glass. I've been drinking. I shouldn't call you, but I have to. You deserve to know. I sat up, careful not to wake Rachel, walked out into the hallway, closing the bedroom door behind me. Know what? Your marriage. Jim, Rachel told me tonight. A long pause, another drink. She said your marriage has 1 year left. Maybe less. She's been planning it, planning to leave. The hallway tilted. I put my hand against the wall. What are you talking about? She's done, Jim. She told me she's just waiting for the right time. I think... Her voice dropped to a whisper. I think there might be someone else. I'm not sure. But she's been different lately, and I couldn't let her blindside you. You're a good guy. You don't deserve this. My mouth was dry. My hands started shaking. Where are you right now? Home. I'm at my apartment. Jim, I know this is crazy, calling you in the middle of the night, but Can you come over? We should talk about this. I can tell you everything she said. I don't want to do this over the phone. Something in my gut twisted. I'm not sure what it was. Maybe her voice was too urgent. Maybe the timing felt wrong. Maybe it was the way she emphasized come over just a little too much. But something felt off. Let me think about this, Vicky. This is a lot. Please, Jim. She's going to destroy you. She's planning it all. You need to know what she said, what she's doing. I'll call you tomorrow. Jim, I hung up. Stood in the hallway for a solid minute, phone in my hand, heart hammering. Then I did something that would save my life. I checked my phone's recording app, made sure it had captured the call. It had. I went back to bed. Rachel was still asleep, breathing softly. I lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, mind racing. Why would Vicky call me at 2:47 a.m.? Why not text first? Why the urgency to get me to her apartment? And why did something about this feel wrong? The first suspicions, I didn't sleep. Couldn't. At 6 a.m., I got up, made coffee, and listened to the recording of Vicky's call 3 more times. Each time I caught more details that bothered me. The crying seemed performative, like she was trying too hard. She said Rachel had told her tonight, but it was 2:47 a.m. when she called. Had they been out drinking until 2 a.m. on a Tuesday? She kept emphasizing that I should come over. Not, can we meet for coffee tomorrow, or I'll come to you. Come to her place. In the middle of the night, Rachel came down at 7 a.m., already dressed for work, kissed me on the cheek like she always did. Morning, babe, you're up early. I watched her face, looking for something, guilt, nervousness, anything, nothing. Couldn't sleep, I said. Weird dreams. That sucks. She poured herself coffee. I've got an early meeting. Probably won't be home until 7 tonight. There's a new product launch campaign kicking off. Sure, no problem. She grabbed her bag, kissed me again, and left. I sat there for another 30 minutes thinking. Then I called in sick to work and started making phone calls. The private investigator Frank Morrison's office was in a strip mall between a nail salon and a tax preparer. Not exactly prestigious, but his Google reviews were solid and his rates were reasonable. Frank was 58, gray beard, looked like he'd been a cop in another life. Turns out he had been. Let me get this straight, he said, leaning back in his chair. Your wife's best friend called you at 2:47 in the morning, drunk, saying your wife is planning to leave you, and she wanted you to come over to her apartment right then. Right. And you didn't go. Something felt wrong. Frank smiled, not a happy smile, a knowing one. Good instincts, real good instincts. He opened a notebook. Tell me about your wife. How long married? 8 years. She's 36, marketing manager, makes about 95 Ks a year. We've been fine. I thought we were fine. Affairs, arguments, money problems? No, nothing major, normal couple stuff. She travels sometimes for work. I work from home mostly. I stopped. Were we fine? I don't even know anymore. And this friend, Vicky. Victoria Hayes, 35, known Rachel since college. They're really close, see each other all the time. Frank wrote it down. Here's what I'm thinking. Either your wife really is planning to leave you and the friend felt guilty, or he tapped his pen on the desk. This is something else entirely. What do you mean? Had a case once, similar setup. Husband's friend calls him late at night, says his wife is cheating, insists he come over. Turns out the friend was setting him up. Wife gets photos of him at another woman's apartment at 3 a.m. Boom, infidelity evidence. Divorce goes her way. My stomach dropped. You think that's what this is? I think it's worth looking into. He pulled out a contract. I charge $125 an hour plus expenses. I'll do a background check on both women, see what comes up, check social media, public records, that kind of thing. You want me to follow your wife too? I thought about it. Not yet. Start with the background stuff first. We shook hands. I signed the contract. Walked out into the parking lot, feeling like I just stepped into a completely different life. The pattern, Frank called me 3 days later. Jim, we need to meet, not over the phone. We met at a coffee shop near my house. Frank brought a folder. Your wife is Rachel Cooper Mitchell, right? Maiden name Cooper? Yeah. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. He opened the folder. Victoria Hayes, works in HR at a consulting firm, lives alone, no criminal record, but... He slid a printout across the table. She's had 3 different social media accounts in the last 10 years. Victoria Hayes, Tori Henderson, Vicky Harrison. Why would she... Different names, same face. Look. He showed me screenshots. Same woman, different profiles, different last names. And here's the kicker. I ran her employment history. She's worked at 6 different companies in 8 years. That's a lot of job hopping for someone in HR. Maybe she... Let me finish. Frank pulled out another sheet. Your wife, Rachel. She's also changed jobs a lot. 4 companies in 8 years. Always marketing or communications roles. And... He pointed to the dates. Look at the timing. They're often at the same company for overlapping periods, then both leave around the same time. I stared at the timeline. What does that mean? I don't know yet. But it's weird. He pulled out another sheet. So I started looking at public records, divorce filings, and I found something. My hands were shaking as I reached for the paper. Robert Stevens, divorced 6 years ago in Phoenix, Arizona. Ex-wife's name was Rebecca Stevens. Maiden name, Rachel Cooper. The coffee shop went silent, or maybe that was just my ears ringing. That's Rachel? My Rachel? Same birth date, same college listed on LinkedIn, same face in old social media photos before she scrubbed them. Frank's voice was gentle. Jim, I think your wife has done this before. Victim number 1. Finding Robert Stevens took Frank 2 more days. Getting him to talk to me took another week. We finally met at a Starbucks in Phoenix. I'd flown down on a Saturday, told Rachel I was visiting a college buddy. Robert was 48, looked older, thin, tired. When he saw me, he actually flinched. You look like you've seen a ghost, I said, sitting down. I have. He stared at me. You could be me 6 years ago. Same haircut, same build, same everything. Frank said you were married to someone named Rebecca, Rachel Cooper. Yeah. His voice was barely a whisper. For 4 years. Best 4 years of my life until they weren't. He pulled out his phone. Showed me a photo. My wife. Younger, different hair color, but unmistakably Rachel. Her name wasn't Rebecca, Robert said. That was a lie. Everything was a lie. Tell me what happened. He did. And with every sentence, my stomach dropped further. We met at a conference in 2016. She was amazing, smart, funny, beautiful. We dated for 6 months, got married quick. I owned a small construction company, doing pretty well, about $500K in assets. Had a good life. Then her best friend started coming around more, Victoria, or wait, she called herself Tori back then. They were always whispering, always on their phones. I didn't think much of it. Until one night, Tori called me, 3 a.m., crying. Said Rebecca was having an affair, that I needed to know, that she felt terrible keeping it from me. Said I should come over to her apartment. She had proof. My throat closed up. Did you go? Yeah, I went. Robert's hands were shaking. Walked right into it. Tori answered the door in a robe, poured me a drink, started getting close, touching my arm, saying Rebecca didn't appreciate me, that I deserved better. And I left, felt wrong. But the next day, Rebecca had photos. Me going into Tori's apartment at 3 a.m. Me accepting a drink from a woman in a robe. She twisted it, said I was having an affair with her best friend, filed for divorce immediately. Took me to the cleaners. I tried to fight it, but she had evidence. Took half of everything, left me broke. Business nearly went under. I was suicidal for a year. I couldn't breathe. Did you ever report this? Report what? That my wife divorced me? That I went to her friend's apartment in the middle of the night? He laughed bitterly. I looked like the bad guy, Jim. That's the genius of it. There's no crime, just a messy divorce. There have to be others, I said. If she did this to you, there are. Robert pulled out a piece of paper. After I figured it out, I started looking. Found 2 more guys. Same pattern, same women, different names. One in Seattle, one in Dallas. He slid the paper across the table. 2 names, 2 phone numbers. I'm sorry this is happening to you, Robert said. But maybe you can stop them. I couldn't. I was too broken. But you... He looked at me. You found out before you took the bait. That's huge. That means you have time. The full picture: David Anderson in Seattle, Michael Bennett in Dallas. Both told me nearly identical stories. David lost $320K, married to Rachel Winters for 3 years. Her best friend Vicky called him late one night. Same setup, he didn't go either, but she got him a different way. Staged photos of them having lunch that looked more intimate than they were. Divorce destroyed him. Michael lost $280K, married to Rach Harrison for 2 years. Friend Victoria tried the late night call. When that didn't work, she tried getting him to meet her at a hotel to talk. He went to the lobby. Photos made it look like they went upstairs together. His wife filed the next day. All told, across 3 men, Rachel and Vicky had stolen over $1.1 million in 8 years, and I was supposed to be victim number 4. The forensic accountant Linda Parker was 41, sharp as a knife, and didn't waste time with pleasantries. Show me what you have. I'd spent 2 weeks building a file. Bank statements from the 3 previous victims, court records from their divorces, timeline of Rachel and Vicky's employment history, everything. Linda spent 2 hours going through it all. Then she looked up. This is a criminal enterprise. Can we prove it? Oh, honey. She smiled. We can absolutely prove it. Look at this. She spread out financial records. Each divorce, the settlement money goes into a personal account, right? Then within 6 months, large transfers to shell LLCs. 3 different LLCs, all registered in Delaware, all with similar names: Cooper Victory Consulting, Rachel Vick Enterprises, Vic Rack Holdings. She pulled up corporate registration documents. Same registered agent for all of them, same address. And look at the timing. Money comes in from divorces, gets moved to LLCs, then she traced her highlighter across statements. Then it moves offshore. Cayman Islands accounts, gone. Can we track it? We can track the pattern. Whether we can get the money back? She shrugged. Probably not, but we can prove intent. We can prove this wasn't 3 separate divorces. This was a scheme. Wire fraud, conspiracy. This is FBI territory. FBI? Jim, they committed federal crimes. Identity fraud. Your wife used different names in different states. Wire fraud. They moved money across state lines and internationally. Conspiracy to commit fraud. This isn't just divorce court. This is prison time. My hands were shaking. What do I do? You call the FBI. And you don't confront your wife until they tell you to. The FBI agent Sarah Collins was 45, 20 years with the Bureau White-Collar Crime Division. She sat across from me in a windowless office in downtown Denver, going through my file for the 3rd time. This is thorough work, she said. Your PI is good. So what happens now? Now we investigate. I'll need to talk to the previous victims, subpoena financial records, but Jim... She looked at me seriously. This is going to take time, months. And in the meantime, you have to act normal. Normal. Your wife can't know we're investigating. If she runs, we lose everything. Can you do that? Can you go home tonight and act like nothing's wrong? I thought about it. 8 years with Rachel. 8 years of lies. Yeah, I said, I can do that. Good, because we need one more thing from you. What? We need you to take the bait. The sting, 3 months of investigation, 3 months of gathering evidence, interviewing victims, tracing money through shell companies and offshore accounts. 3 months of going home every night to Rachel, kissing her hello, asking about her day, pretending everything was fine. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. My sister Jennifer, a psychologist, kept me sane. Twice weekly sessions where I could finally be honest. You're dissociating, she told me, creating a Jim who lives at home and a Jim who's building the case. It's a defense mechanism. Is that bad? It's human, but Jim, when this is over, you're going to need real therapy, this kind of psychological strain. She shook her head. Just promise me you'll get help after. I promised. Agent Collins called on a Wednesday afternoon. We're ready, this Friday night. Can you do it? What do you need? We're going to have Vicky call you again. Same setup. 2 a.m. call. She's going to say Rachel told her something new. Something urgent. She's going to beg you to come over. This time, you go. And you'll be there? We'll wire you. Audio and video. We need her to explicitly discuss the trap. We need her to admit that this is a setup. Can you get her to do that? I think so. Good, because we also need Rachel. We're going to have her text Vicky during your conversation. We need evidence of active conspiracy, real-time coordination. I felt sick. Okay. Jim, you've done amazing work here. You're saving other men from going through what you've been through, what Robert, David, and Michael went through. You're a hero. I didn't feel like a hero. I felt like I was about to walk into hell. The final act Friday night, Rachel went to bed at 11 p.m. like always. I stayed up watching TV, pretending to be absorbed in some Netflix show. At 1:38 a.m., my phone rang. Vicky, I answered. Hello? Jim. Her voice was slurred again, panicked, practiced. I'm so sorry to call so late again. I know you never came over last time, but I need to talk to you. Rachel told me something tonight that you have to know about. What now, Vicky? God, Jim, she's seeing someone. She told me his name. She told me they're planning to file for divorce next month. You need to know. You need to prepare. The FBI had coached me. Keep her talking. Get her to push the meeting. Can't this wait until tomorrow? No, Jim, please, come over. Just for an hour. I have texts. I have proof. You need to see it before she does something. Before she hides assets, or please, Jim, I'm trying to help you. I took a breath. Okay, fine. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Thank you. Oh, God, thank you. I'll leave the door unlocked. Just come up. I hung up, looked at Agent Collins in my living room, hidden in my home office with 2 other agents. You're good? She asked. No, but let's do this. They wired me. Tiny camera on my shirt button. Microphone in my collar. Phone tracking on. 3 agents would follow me to Vicky's apartment building, stay in a van outside. I drove to her place. Apartment 3B in a modern complex. Her car was in the lot. My hands weren't shaking this time. I felt cold, focused. I went up the stairs. The door to 3B was slightly open. I pushed it and walked in. Vicky was on the couch, silk robe, glass of wine, hair down, makeup perfect at 2 a.m. Jim, she stood up, came toward me. Thank you for coming. I know this is crazy. Show me the proof. Okay. Sit down. Want a drink first? No, just show me. Something flickered in her eyes. Frustration. Jim, relax. This is hard enough without you being hostile. I sat on the far end of the couch, kept distance. I'm not hostile. I'm tired. My wife is apparently cheating on me and planning to divorce me. Show me what you have. She sat next to me. Close. Too close. She's been seeing someone from her work for months. She told me she's just waiting for the right time to leave. She wants to make sure she gets a fair settlement first. A fair settlement? Yeah. Her hand touched my knee. Jim, I know this is devastating, but you're a good guy. You deserve better. You deserve someone who appreciates you. This was it, the play. Someone like who? Like, her hand moved higher. Like someone who's been watching how she treats you, how she takes you for granted. You're smart, successful, attractive. Her face was inches from mine. She's an idiot for not seeing what she has. I pulled back. Vicky, what are you doing? I'm trying to help you see that there's life after Rachel, that you don't have to be alone, that you could be with someone who actually wants you. By hitting on me? I'm not... She stopped, recalibrated. I'm just saying, when this is over, when the divorce happens, maybe we could, I don't know, see where things go. My phone buzzed. I pulled it out. Text from Rachel. Is he there yet? I showed it to Vicky. Want to explain this? Her face went white. That's not what it looks like. Really? Because it looks like my wife knows I'm here at 2 a.m. with you, which is really convenient if she wanted evidence of me cheating, which is exactly what Robert Stevens told me happened to him. She stood up fast. Who? Robert Stevens, Phoenix, 6 years ago. You called him at 3 a.m., got him to come over, staged the exact same setup. Only his wife's name was Rebecca back then. Or wait, was it Rachel? Same woman, different name. Vicky's face went from white to red. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you do. Just like you know about David Anderson in Seattle. And Michael Bennett in Dallas, 3 men, 3 divorces, over $1 million stolen. You need to leave. Her voice was cold now. The drunk act gone. The seductive act gone. Just cold calculation. In a minute. I pulled out my phone, started recording. First, I want to hear you say it. This was a setup, wasn't it? Rachel was supposed to find photos of me here. Evidence of an affair with her best friend. Then she divorces me, takes half of everything, and you two split the money, just like the last 3 times. Get out of my apartment. How many more were there? More than 3. How long have you been doing this? Get out. That's what I thought. I stood up, walked to the door, turned back. FBI is outside, by the way. They heard everything, and they're arresting Rachel right now. Her face crumbled, pure rage. You fucking... The door burst open. Agent Collins and 2 other agents. Victoria Hayes, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit wire fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy to commit fraud. You have the right to remain silent. I walked out, down the stairs, into the parking lot. My phone rang. Unknown number. Jim Mitchell? Yeah. This is Officer Rodriguez, Denver PD. We have your wife in custody. Agent Collins asked us to inform you. Is she... How is she? Furious. Demanding a lawyer. Denying everything. Okay, thank you. I sat in my car for 20 minutes. 8 years. 8 years with someone I never really knew. Then I drove home to an empty house and cried for the first time in months. The aftermath, the trial took 8 months. Rachel and Vicky both pleaded not guilty initially, claimed they were victims of overzealous investigation, claimed the divorces were legitimate, claimed no conspiracy existed, but the evidence was overwhelming. 3 previous victims testified. Frank's investigation revealed the pattern. Linda's forensic accounting showed the money trail. The FBI had recordings of Vicky trying to entrap me. They had texts between Rachel and Vicky coordinating the setup, and then the prosecution found something else, a 4th victim who'd never come forward, a man in Austin who'd been married to Rachel Chambers 3 years before Robert Stevens. He'd taken the bait, gone to Vicky's apartment under a different name, and the divorce destroyed him. He'd been too ashamed to ever talk about it. 4 men. Total theft? Over $1.4 million. Rachel and Vicky changed their pleas to guilty 6 months in, accepted a deal. 6 years federal prison for Rachel, 8 years for Vicky since she was the primary recruiter. Restitution ordered, though we'll never see most of the money. It's buried in offshore accounts they've long since emptied. But they're in prison, and more importantly, they're on a registry. When they get out, they'll be monitored. They can't do this to anyone else. That's what matters. Rebuilding. I got an annulment, not a divorce. 8 years of marriage erased like it never happened. In some ways, it didn't. The woman I married didn't exist. Rachel Cooper was a construct, a role she played. I mourned the person I thought she was, but I couldn't mourn the person she actually was. My sister's therapy recommendations saved my life. Twice a week for the first year, once a week now. I'm processing betrayal, manipulation, the fact that I shared my bed with a sociopath for nearly a decade. Robert, David, Michael, and I formed a strange little support group. We meet quarterly, talk about our experiences, warn each other when we catch ourselves falling into old patterns, trust issues, paranoia, fear of intimacy. Robert's doing better, started dating someone last year. She knows his whole story and loves him anyway. David's in therapy but struggling. The financial loss destroyed his business. He's starting over at 54. Michael moved back in with his parents. He's 48. Says he'll never marry again. I'm somewhere in the middle. 1 year later today is the 1-year anniversary of the arrest. I'm sitting in a coffee shop, writing this all down. My therapist suggested it might be cathartic. She was right. Someone sits down across from me. I look up. It's a woman, maybe 32, 33. Brown hair, kind eyes. She smiles nervously. Sorry, is this seat taken? Everywhere else is full. No, go ahead. She sits, opens her laptop, starts working. 5 minutes pass. She glances at me. Are you okay? You look like you're processing something heavy. I laugh, can't help it. Yeah, writing about my ex-wife who turned out to be a professional con artist. Her eyes widen. Oh my God, seriously? Seriously? Wow, I'm sorry. That's terrible. It's okay. Well, it's not okay, but I'm okay, or I'm getting there. She extends her hand. I'm Emma. I hesitate. Old Jim would have shaken her hand immediately, started a conversation, been open and trusting. New Jim knows better, but New Jim also knows that not everyone is Rachel. Not every friendly gesture is a trap. Not every smile hides a knife. I shake her hand. Jim. Nice to meet you, Jim. And for what it's worth, anyone who survives a con artist and lives to tell about it, that's pretty badass. I smile. First real smile in months. Thanks. We talk for an hour about nothing important, about everything important. She's a graphic designer, loves hiking, has a dog named Potato. She's funny and warm, and when I mention my trust issues, she doesn't run. Everyone has baggage, she says. Yours just has a better story than most. When we exchange numbers, I run hers through a background check app on my phone. It's paranoid. It's excessive. It's necessary. She's real. Emma Richardson, 32, graphic designer, no criminal record, no red flags. I text her the next day. We get coffee again. I tell her everything on our third date. Expect her to run. She doesn't. I'm not them, she says simply. I'm just me. And if you need time to trust that, I'll wait. That was 3 months ago. We're taking it slow, very slow, but I'm learning to trust again. Learning to be open without being naive. Learning to protect myself without closing off completely. It's hard, but it's possible. Epilogue. If you made it this far, thank you. I know this was long, messy, complicated. There are no perfect heroes in this story. I'm not one. Robert, David, and Michael aren't either. We're just guys who got targeted by professionals and barely survived. But we did survive. What I learned, trust your gut. When something feels wrong, it probably is. That 2 a.m. call felt wrong. I listened to my instincts. It saved me. Verify everything. Not everyone is a con artist, but healthy relationships can withstand verification. If someone gets defensive about basic background checks or transparency, ask why. Predators are professional. Rachel and Vicky had refined their system over 8 years. They were good at it. That's not your fault. If you fall for it, you can recover. I didn't think I would, but here I am, dating again, trusting again, slowly, carefully, but genuinely. Justice is possible, not always, but sometimes. Rachel and Vicky are in federal prison because I didn't take the bait and because I fought back. To anyone who's been conned, you're not stupid. You're not weak. You met someone whose entire skill set was manipulation. That's not a reflection of you. To anyone who thinks they're being set up, document everything. Trust your instincts. Get professional help. Don't confront until you're ready. To anyone who's a con artist reading this, you will get caught. Maybe not today. Maybe not by your next victim, but eventually you'll target someone who fights back. And when you do, everything you've built will collapse. I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago. I'm more cautious, more skeptical. Some might say I'm damaged, but I'm also stronger, wiser, more aware of red flags, and I'm alive. Rachel and Vicky tried to destroy me. They destroyed Robert, David, Michael, and at least one other man, but they didn't destroy me. I destroyed them instead. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And if someone you don't trust very well calls you at 2 a.m. begging you to come over, don't answer. Record it and call a lawyer.